While walking alone, a woman named Cheyenne Clark turns around as someone dressed in all black is following her. She pretends to call a friend, but is attacked and disappears without a trace. Meanwhile, Bree Collins and her ex-husband, Michael Miller, are convicted of a market manipulation scheme. While Bree, who maintains her innocence, gets house arrest for a year in their multi-million-dollar lakefront smart home after a plea deal, Michael gets jail time. House arrest in that mansion seems amazing to me. On her first day, Bree tests her ankle monitor and plants red flags around the house to determine how far she can go outside. Shortly after, she sees a Polaroid of her planting the red flags, unaware of who took the photo. On day 96, Bree's probation officer, Gobbleneck Nancy, brings up that she had to dispatch the police repeatedly for the last 3 months because her ankle monitor's signal keeps getting lost, prompting Bree to assure her that it won't happen again. When asked if she has any contact with Michael, Bree says no, but informs her that he calls her every day. Bree begs her to stay because she's feeling COVID quarantine effects of social distancing. Nancy suggests,
Love Island. If you're looking for the best trashy dating show, check out Love Island.
Later that night, Bree bathes in the master bathroom, unaware that the security system has been disarmed. She is then startled by the sound of glass shattering. Armed with a stun gun, Bree finds a bedroom's exterior sliding door open and the lamp in the framed USC graduation photo of her and Sophia next to it broken. Spooked, she immediately makes sure that all doors are locked. The next day, Bree's lawyer friend Sophia visits Bree, who then informs her about what happened, suspecting that someone was in the house. Since the alarm didn't go off, she suspects that it was Michael, since he's the only one who has access to the house's controls. Sophia calls the cops, and Detective Joe Hall arrives. While checking the bedroom, he asks if they have indoor security cameras, to which Bree says that Michael refused to have some because it's their vacation home, and he wanted privacy. She isn't sure if there are missing or stolen items. Joe tells her that they can't do anything because no crime has been committed. He says he'll file a report about the incident and gives her his card so she can call him directly if something happens. Sophia stays to accompany Bree for the night. Bree shows her the red thong she found under the couch, and since it's not hers, she suspects that Michael refused to install cameras because he had been bringing women here to break their backs. To cleanse the place, they burn Michael's stuff. The next day, Bree and Sophia find Polaroids of them burning Michael's stuff taped on a window. Bree's suspicion on Michael strengthens, but Sophia says it can also be one of Michael's enemies, trying to get back at him through her. Sophia then recommends hiring Xavier Johnson, a man who had worked for one of her clients a few months back, as her personal security. Later that night, Bree finally answers Michael's call. After he correctly guesses that she's in the bedroom and has been consuming bottles of wine, he informs her that he has spoken to Judge Getman and that they've decided that he has already paid his debt to society, so he's going to be released for good behavior. He tells her he would love to see her, prompting a spooked Bree to hang up and call Xavier. The next day, the Foine Xavier arrives at the lake house, and Bree fills him in about why she needs personal security. Xavier can fill me in as well. Bree informs Xavier that Michael is the smartest and most vindictive man she knows. She says that through the years he had her sign papers he said were for taxes and retirement, and since she loved his D and trusted him, she complied. Unfortunately, those ended up becoming a mountain of evidence linking her to his crimes. When Michael got arrested and she left him, he blackmailed her to make her stay. When she didn't, he took her down with him as an aider and abetter. Xavier advises her to be open to possibilities because it might not be Michael, and shows her Cheyenne's missing poster, saying their cases might be linked. The next day, Bree boards their lake house motorboat while Xavier stays by the dock. In the middle of the lake, the engine catches on fire, and she falls into the water, prompting Xavier to swim and save her. Nancy charges Bree for the ankle monitor, warning her that she will have an additional sentence if it happens again. Sophia comes over and says the man is Foine, so Bree should hop on that ASAP, but Bree needs to clean up herself first. After inspecting the boat, Xavier informs Bree that he has found a shirt blocking the boat's water intake, which has caused an impeller failure, leading him to believe that it isn't an accident. He then shows her a phone number and asks if she knows whose it is. When she says she doesn't and asks why he's asking, he says he's just checking. All dolled up, Bree invites Xavier to dinner. Xavier reveals that Cheyenne is his sister and shares that he carries her posters around because somebody keeps taking them down and he refuses to let the town forget her. He says Cheyenne moved there a few years ago and suddenly stopped answering his calls, so he put his life on hold to find her, especially because the police won't take him seriously. The next day, Michael visits Bree at the lake house and tells her that it's all good between them. When she confronts him about the photos and the break-in and asks him to stop, he denies doing it and says that he's trying to move on with his life. He confronts her about over-drinking. Then he offers to help her if she's in trouble or scared, but she asks him to leave. Xavier then walks in to escort the little twink boy. Later that night, the thermostat increases to 85, and Bree wakes up to the house lights flashing. After failing to gain control of their smart home, Bree is attacked by an unknown person and is knocked unconscious. The next day, while Xavier is cleaning up the mess, he informs Bree that the doors suddenly opened while he was contemplating breaking the window to get in. Bree continues to suspect Michael, thinking he's doing it to remind her that she can't escape him. Xavier finds a camera hidden in the picture frame. Bree asks Xavier to look for more cameras because she don't want to be spied on while fingering herself. Because of the break-in, she offers him the guest room instead of his RV. The next day, Xavier calls in Dex, a woman he used to work with, who informs Bree and Xavier that someone has gained access to the system via the app that controls the house. She figures that that person was using a VPN because the IP address can't be tracked, and locks out any other users, so only Bree has control. Dex discovers that they can't access the camera video feeds online because they're being stored locally, at a location closer to the city, around 50 miles away. Bree says it's Michael's house, their main residence, and guesses that it's where he's currently staying. Bree then hatches a plan to steal the footage from Michael's house. On day 106, Dex tampers with Bree's ankle monitor so she can go far without alerting the cops. Bree shares with Xavier that she and Michael met through Sophia. Xavier then shares that before Cheyenne's disappearance, he had searched her apartment and found a number she had been calling, but he wasn't able to track it because it was from a burner phone. With the help of Dex's hacking skills, Bree and Xavier sneak into the safe room in Michael's home and steal the lake house's hard drive while Michael is home getting freaky with another woman. Michael gets a little suspicious at first, thinking someone is in his house. There, Xavier finds a phone hidden under a bed and takes it with him. When they return home, Nancy questions Bree's whereabouts, but she convinces her that she has been there the entire time and successfully persuades her not to arrest her. After Nancy lets it go, Bree kisses Xavier, and they end up doing some freaky leaky things. While Bree is sleeping, Xavier calls the number Cheyenne has been calling, and the phone he has taken from under Michael's bed rings. We all saw this coming. The next morning, Xavier informs Bree that the hard drive is encrypted and informs her about the burner phone, suggesting the possible link between Michael and Cheyenne. After Xavier leaves to check with Dex, who's working on cracking the hard drive, Joe visits Bree and informs her about Xavier's criminal record, saying he's currently the suspect in Cheyenne's disappearance. He says Michael was a person of interest in Cheyenne's case, but was cleared quickly because of an airtight alibi, a work trip corroborated by several of his colleagues. Shortly after, Joe receives a call informing him that Michael is en route to a hospital after being struck in a hit-and-run by an RV, prompting Bree to assume that it's Xavier. Sophia comes over and they both now suspect Xavier. Sophia says it's all good as long as Bree didn't sleep with him. "Betch, you were the one egging our girl on to get her eggs seated." Together, they go through Xavier's things and find Polaroids of Cheyenne. When Xavier returns later that night, he informs Bree that Dex has finally cracked the hard drive, but Bree, with Sophia, confronts him about the Polaroids. Xavier says he got them from Cheyenne's apartment, and they're the last photos he has of her. She fires him and kicks him out, and he gives her the hard drive. She gives her a box of his things, but he says he wants to lick her box. After Xavier leaves, Joe calls Bree to inform her that they have an officer watching Xavier while they move forward on an arrest, assuring her safety. While Sophia is changing, Bree sees Xavier's RV outside and calls Joe to inform him. Shortly after, Sophia and Bree are knocked unconscious by an intruder. Two cops visit Michael at home to interview him regarding the hit-and-run. When he says he has already spoken to Detective Hall about it, the cops inform him that there is no Detective Hall in the sheriff's department. Meanwhile, when a bound Bree awakens, she sees the unconscious Xavier on the couch. While trying to free herself, her attacker appears and reveals himself to be Joe, a man who looks like he has a ton of tonsil stones. Joe looks at Xavier, whom he had heavily drugged, and informs Bree that Cheyenne is dead, saying he weighed her down and dumped her into the lake. He adds that he took her posters down, and he needs to get rid of Xavier because he won't stop looking for Cheyenne. He plans to make it seem like Xavier killed Bree and then took his own life because he can't handle her breaking up with him. Bree manages to free herself and shoots at the ugly man. As Joe chases Bree, Xavier, who has awakened, throws a knife at Joe, who then uses the same knife to stab Xavier. All those muscles for nothing. Bree and Joe struggle, and she bludgeons him with a rock. The next day, the police arrive, and Xavier is taken to the hospital. Bree then finds Sophia bound in a walk-in closet. On day 114, Bree checks the hard drive and sees Joe taping the Polaroids on the window. On day 116, after visiting Cheyenne's grave, Xavier informs Bree that Joe Hall's real name is Joseph Mitchell, a man who has a record, most recently for assault. He adds that when Cheyenne's body was pulled out of the lake, DNA was linked back to Joe. Xavier encourages Bree to move on, saying sometimes there's no explanation behind crimes, but she feels like there's something more to why she and Cheyenne were targeted. Hours later, Bree continues to review numerous hard drive footage. On day 130, Sophia visits Bree. Bree then confronts Sophia for sending Joe to kill her. Sophia is gagged. Court records show that she represented Joseph Mitchell in an assault case a few years back and won, and he was the cop who showed up when she reported the break-in. The RV parked outside that night was registered to Joe, and Xavier's RV was at a friend's house. Joe was with her when Michael got hit, so Bree assumes that Sophia was the one who hit Michael. When Sophia denies her allegations, Bree reveals that the hard drive contains folders named after the women Michael had slept with, and that Michael had stored numerous hidden camera footage of him, and those women being intimate in their respective folders. Michael has slept with both Sophia and Cheyenne. What a trifling hoe. Bree has figured that Sophia is in love with Michael, so she wanted to get rid of Bree and Cheyenne. She also wanted to get rid of Xavier because he wouldn't stop looking for Cheyenne. Bree plays the footage where Michael left Sophia, who was wearing red lingerie, in the middle of eating Michael's booty. It shows that Michael had given Sophia access to the house's controls. When Bree says that Michael loved her and wanted Cheyenne, and he just tolerated Sophia because she was easy, an angry Sophia claims that Michael loves her too, and says she'll kill her herself since Joe failed to do so. Bree reveals that her ankle monitor records audio if it's being tampered with, and she has smashed it before she arrived, so it has recorded their entire conversation. An angry Sophia walks towards Bree, who then punches her. Let's replay that punch again. Xavier and the cops arrive, and Sophia is arrested. When Bree's house arrest is over, she moves in with Xavier, and they start a new life together. Girl, you won at life. This is a Tubi original called Alone in the Dark. Fairly decent compared to some of the crap I've seen on there. What did you guys think of this one?
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We got lots more of foolishness on this channel that'll have you hollering. And if you like to watch more, just click here or here.